Hi, well, yeah, thanks so much for joining me. Your new album comes out next month. How are you feeling?
I feel really good. I feel just like, we'll probably get really into this, but this new album for me has been very different to the last three that I put out before this one because it's the first record that I've been so involved on the production and the actual release and all the other things that usually, I kind of get all these other people to do. I literally did it all of myself on my own this time. So I feel really good to have finished it and have the whole thing kind of coming out because it was something I'd never done before.
That's a big deal doing it all on your own. So, do you have any big celebrations planned for release?
Honestly, like not really. I'm too busy making new music at the moment. I kind of feel like I like to celebrate by just continuing on with the process itself because I just love it so much.
Yeah. And I do love that the album is called My Own because, as you just said, you did it all on your own. So, what inspired you to take full control this time around in terms of like writing, producing, recording?
Honestly, it was like not a choice that I made. It was kind of like just life putting me in the deep end, and all of a sudden, I didn't actually have a choice. So I kind of like came out of the whole COVID thing um, without a label deal for the first time, and also without management and all the usual people. So I guess I just was forced into that lane, and at first, I thought it was a really negative thing, but now I think it's just been so good because it kind of like, yeah, it's so much more sustainable when you have all of that kind of ability to do all of those things because you're not really relying so much on whether it's successful. Because if you can just do it all yourself, then you don't actually have to borrow a ton of money to pay all these people to do it for you. And then then you're like, oh my God, I hope this does well because otherwise I'm in debt to another label deal.
Yeah, and you have
So
full control as well over what you put out there. It's true to yourself.
you've got just so much, it's so much more authentic. It's true. Yeah.
So, having had both the experience of having a team and doing it by yourself, like for future work, do you feel like you would take that new approach of doing it solo?
I think that it's definitely going to continue to be more independent than it ever has been. But I think as I kind of develop all these new processes around it, I'll probably end up delegating again to other people. But definitely in a very particular and specific way, and not having like these enormous businesses with all these people involved. It's just kind of like too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. Yeah. And you describe My Own as your most personal work to date. So, can you take us into your headspace during the making of the album and what were you reckoning with and how did that shape your music?
Yeah. Well, I think that what we're talking about was definitely one of the main things that I was reckoning with, was kind of like facing all of the self doubt of being able to get through that time and still be an artist. So that was a huge thing for me that I think all of the songs captured in a way was like having faith and belief in what I was doing when I wasn't getting that externally. And yeah, I think that it really made it clear to me that the real reason why I do it is just because it comes from a, just a passion that no matter what the results are going to be externally, that's always going to be there and always going to be the driving factor for why I do it. So I think that's where this record was really special because it was so pure. It wasn't like I was doing it for success. Well, there was also a huge accountability factor involved in it too, because I feel like also, when you really choose to kind of own whatever your situation is and make the best of it, there's definitely an accountability that comes with that, where it's like knowing your own hand in the situation that was kind of dealt to you. And I feel like that was something that I really accepted as well, more than I ever had before. And it was something that all of a sudden, that kind of accountability, I could see that spilling off into my personal life and what my relationships were like and the hand that I had played in all of those. So it wasn't just about like, music, which was, but it all kind of came back into the record.
Yeah, and it's great to hear that you were able to turn, I guess, such a stressful or doubting situation at the time into making it something that has a positive outcome. And speaking of like taking accountability, was there a particular song that was really healing or difficult to write on this album?
Probably Worst Enemy, which is which I mean the whole idea for my own as well was to have these all these different song titles and then put my own in front of it. So my own worst enemy, because it was all about myself and my relationship with my wife and how I'd caused a lot of issues in that. So that was definitely a hard one to get out, but so good and so helpful.
Yeah, and how does that go? Like when you have I guess songs that are exploring your personal relationship, how do you go keeping that separate to your relationships in everyday life?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, because it can be hard, I guess, knowing that, yeah, your wife's going to hear it, your family, friends.
Yeah, I think she really appreciated it because it was like an acknowledgement. But yeah, it's definitely a fine line between, writing about real things and also kind of protecting your own personal life.
Yeah, and you've also got Wallflower as well, which is a beautiful song to your wife too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of them are honestly about her. Yeah.
And you're going to be hitting tour in May. So I did see on your Instagram story today that you're doing some preparation and things like that. So tell me, how are you preparing for tour?
Well, I'm here right now, actually, and I've just been kind of frequenting to what do they call these places? Rehearsals spaces, and I've been building a whole new show, and I've been going a little bit crazy with it, but I'm really excited. I've got like the old live show that I used to play pre-COVID when I was touring a lot overseas with drum tracks and drum pads and mixing that with acoustic guitar and vocals. It's kind of like always been a thing for me with blending electronic and folk music. So I feel like that's it's going to be a very dynamic show.
Yeah, and you said like building a brand new show. So without giving too much away, like tell us about that, what we can expect, what's in store.
Well, yeah, I just like as I said, I'm really into house music and electronic music. I always have been, but I've been getting even more into it lately. And so it's basically like a lot of that influence has come into the way I've produced the live songs. So it's got the last three albums I'll be playing my favorite songs from those records plus the new record and basically presenting it in a very indie folk house way. So it's like quite upbeat at times and quite intense and then quite stripped back and it's just a big mix and my latest experiment. I'm so pumped up on it.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm so keen to
Yeah.
see you tour. And like you've performed sold out, two sold out crowds before. And in this tour, you've got a few like smaller, intimate crowds. Do you have a preference in terms of like intimate venues as opposed to the bigger sold out ones?
Um, they're all different and special in their own way. Like sometimes it's really cool to play a really big show, and then it is also really kind of nice to play smaller theaters as well. I feel like I'd like to play some big stages again with this new setup for sure, just because of the like kind of tracks and the sounds that are involved in it. But yeah, I'm really excited to use this tour as kind of like a way to build and experiment with the show to do a festival run after.
Amazing. And so you've got the album, you've got the tour. What are your plans for the rest of the year? Do you take a bit of a break? Are you back into it?
I'm just gonna produce a whole new album with this latest inspiration. I'll probably drop a new song almost straight after the tour. So yeah, I'm not stopping. I've got so much I want to do now.
Incredible. And that's basically all my questions. Do you have anything you wanted to add about the upcoming album, the tour, or things that you want people to know?
Um, no, I feel like we've really covered it all.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for making the time to chat to me today. I'm really keen to come out and see you on tour and for everyone to hear the album as well.
Yeah, no worries. Nice to meet you. And whereabouts are you based?
I'm based in Darwin.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I do go to Sydney a lot, so I'll probably just hopefully make it to like at the Sydney show or something.
Yeah, well, if you want to come to the Sydney show, just let Shari know and we can put you on the door.
Yeah, too easy. We'll do. Thank you so much for that.
No worries.
Enjoy your day. Bye.
All right. Yeah.